Hola, mi gente de NextGen Collective. Welcome to another episode of our live stream series for Women's History Month. With this series, we're honoring the achievements of a new generation of professional women. I'm Suleidis, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with Daisy Prado. Daisy is an intersectional community advocate championing women of color in San Francisco. She is a program manager at the San Francisco Department on the Status of Women, where she oversees programs to help improve the health and safety of women and girls in the city. She's also served as a board member for the ACLU San Francisco chapter, and she's instrumental in advancing women's rights and protecting our liberties. Fun fact, Daisy has also been our NextGen Collective 30 under 30 for last year. Congrats, Daisy. And happy Monday. How's your weekend?
Hi, happy Monday. Weekend was great. California has had some pretty rainy weekends, so really just had another cozy weekend in, but it's good to be here with you today.
It's good to have you. So to kick things off, I like to ask a few quick questions to any Latina that I run into. Are you ready for a rapid fire round?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to throw you some curveballs here. Arepas or pupusas?
Pupusas.
Salsa or bachata?
Bachata.
Same. Dulce de leche or flan?
Flan.
I'm a dulce de leche girl, but that's okay. My mom makes a killer flan though, so I prefer that one too.
I can't make either, but I love both.
Love both too. How about churros or pan dulce?
Churros.
That's that crunch.
That's the crunch, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, last one is the hardest one. Selena or Shakira?
Selena. There's this, I don't know, I was the biggest fan since I was a little kid, so very much have her near and dear in my heart. Also, as a Mexican American, very much near and dear to our hearts. So
that's awesome.
Selena.
Yeah, she's la reina. They don't call her la reina for no reason. So Daisy, on your day to day, you advocate for women every day in, day out. What inspired you to pursue a career in advocacy?
Yes. Well, I feel like since a very young age, my mom engraved in me that we always have time and energy to help other folks in our community. And my mom was a single mom of 3 kids, and it takes a village really when you are raising 3 kids on your own. And I know that there's so many folks that stepped in to help us as well. But my mom was always in a position to give back to our community in one way or another, whether it was like hosting Thanksgiving at her house or whatever it may be. So I feel like I had that ingrained in me since I was like a little girl. And as I started just making my way through, I never thought like, oh, I'm going to go into public service. It was just like things along the way that really kind of, at one point it clicked like, okay, I'm going to dedicate my life to public service. But, I used to even volunteer as a kid. Like I tell folks I used to volunteer at the botanical gardens and teach folks as like a middle school child. I used to teach folks about like the migration of the monarch butterfly. And so really my community service kind of just like propelled me then into college. And then in college is where I started putting 2 and 2 together and figuring out different ways that I can use this passion that I have to also serve our community.
Wow, the Monarchs. I love the Monarchs. I would love to learn some more about that. So as someone who advocates for women's rights, can you share any like rewarding experiences you've had lately?
Yeah, I mean, I will say, right now it's a really difficult time to be a woman, to have a uterus in the United States. It's very difficult. And when you're looking at the news every single day, you're seeing a new lawsuit, you're seeing a new bill that's attacking the autonomy or the body autonomy of folks in this country. So it is very difficult sometimes to find those victories and that joy. But what I tell folks is like, focus on the things that you can control. And I try to think of things in like the more micro level rather than just like the large federal level, national level. And I really try to think about what are things that I can do in my neighborhood, in my community, in my family, with my friends. And those little things are really just what continues to push me forward. And then we also have to like think about all the great victories that, folks in Latin America are having around whether it's reproductive rights, abortion rights, whatever it may be, like the Marea Verde. I tell folks all the time, like, if you look down south, there's some big victories of some incredible community organizing and mujeres coming together and really like fighting for their rights and having those victories in such large countries. And so they serve as an inspiration for me, and I see their victories as my victories as well, porque somos mujeres like all around the world united.
Así mismo.
So yeah, so I say to folks, like, really like focusing on the small things that I do every day is what I see as a victory, whether it's just like putting together an event to get ladies out outdoors to hike together, because I feel like nature is also healing. So I take those small things as victories.
Definitely. Small victories make a big one. So by the way of our lived experiences and upbringing, as you mentioned, your mom, as Latinos, we're kind of naturally drawn to public service and community advocacy, but often like we don't know where to start. Do you have any advice for people that want to start doing community advocacy but don't know where to even look?
Yes. I didn't really understand what community advocacy was, I think, when I was younger. Like that I didn't even put those words together, I would say, until after college, until after I started my professional career. So what I would say to folks is really like think about a time that you've done something in your neighborhood, in your community, or with your primos and primas, and you've advocated on their behalf for whatever it might be. You're doing community advocacy. It doesn't have to be through a formal government role like the one that I am in now. This position is new to me as of like a year ago. And prior to that, I worked at Planned Parenthood and I worked at a lot of different nonprofits. And so I would say for folks, like, start off with, again, doing stuff in your community, but then also volunteering for your favorite nonprofit organization in your city or in your neighborhood. Maybe you're passionate about animals and you want to volunteer at your local shelter and you want to advocate and lobby for, different animal bills at the Capitol. Or maybe you're passionate about reproductive health and you want to volunteer at your local Planned Parenthood and be a patient escort and also advocate for the bills that might be protecting reproductive rights in your state capital. So there's many different ways that you can start off before you even get into your professional career. Like I said, I started off volunteering in middle school, in high school, and no one made me do it. I just like really enjoyed helping out with the food bank, etc. So just find the thing that you're passionate about, and just start off in your community or start off at a nonprofit, and then slowly things will come together. It's not an overnight process. I definitely will say that.
For sure. Yeah, volunteering is so rewarding. I have to get back to it. So what are some initiatives that are going on at your job or by your volunteering that you have going on that you're excited about?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say right now there's a lot of organizing around reproductive rights and the reproductive justice movement. So I actually recently became also a board member for the California Latinas for Reproductive Justice. So really, yeah, I'm really excited. Again, the volunteering continues.
Yeah,
Even
lots of
in
volunteering.
my professional career, I continue to just like find places to support. But I'm really excited of doing that work and like making sure that we continue the progress forward as a reproductive freedom state here in California. A lot of folks are fleeing to California to have access to reproductive health care and other sexual health care that might be banned in the states that they live in. And so it's really important that here in California, whether it's at my, again, my day job or my night job, making sure that we push forward in protecting our state as a reproductive freedom state. So that way folks that are coming here can have access to those resources. So I feel like that's really the biggest push in the different roles that I hold right now. It's the biggest push right now for all of us. Because like I said, the landscape is shifting every single day and more folks are without access to essential healthcare. Reproductive healthcare is healthcare. And so I think folks need to remember that. So really pushing forward on protecting our rights and our body autonomy. So.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you so much for all the work that you do for that. Because, yeah, definitely the landscape is always changing and there's always a new something that's infringing on our freedoms. So it sounds like you have a lot going on. How do you stay sane and take care of yourself?
I will say, full disclosure, I used to not be good about this. I used to definitely burn out and not be in tune with my body as much.
Yeah.
And I feel like now I have like mental and physical check-ins with myself, and I'm like, where are you at battery wise? Where are you at with your mental health? Where are you at with your physical health? Are you drinking enough water? Are you
Right.
eating well? Because the thing about this space is that everyone's running on all cylinders. And so I feel like we try to check in with each other, but it's really important for you to check in with yourself because no one knows your body, no one knows your mental health or what's going on better than you do. So it's really, really
Definitely.
important to have those check-ins. And one thing I do as well is I try to plan out my month and my week. Like I'll take an hour on the weekend or whenever I have time, and I'll be like, and I'll look at my calendar and just see what do I have moving forward this week. What is absolutely necessary for me to attend because there's a lot of things that require, my attendance or just require different energy outputs for me. So I'm like,
Right.
what, and have a priority list of like, what do I need to attend? What can I reschedule? What can I opt out it from? And then maybe just like report back and ask, check in with someone about. So it's really, really important to manage your own energy levels because no one fully understands how busy your plate is besides you. So it's really, really important to check in and to just rest. Like yesterday, it was raining and I really just binged watched TV and that was like a form of rest. I didn't
Definitely.
make myself feel bad for sitting down and just doodling a little bit on a notepad and watching a show for a few hours because like that's what my body needed yesterday.
Absolutely. Yeah. Self-care is can be difficult for me as well. So reminding yourself to check in, and I have the issue with the drinking water. Am I drinking enough water? I need to have a bottle all the time because
Yes.
otherwise I forget. How can you share a little bit of what other quirkier things or lighthearted things about you that makes you are like, what are you passionate about? Do you have hobbies?
Yeah, hobbies. My hobbies, I think, are I've always been a big nature nerd. I think I just described to you that I
The
was like a
monarchs.
volunteer
Yep.
at a botanical garden as a kid, and um, taught folks about the monarch butterflies migration. But I'm a big, big nature nerd, so I
Mm.
love going to parks. I love going to botanical gardens, zoos. Like, we have a beautiful Japanese tea garden that I've been wanting to go to in the city for a while. But I really spend time outside. And maybe that's not as like cool. It's just, okay, I go to parks. But I mean, San Francisco is a very special place in the sense that it has every person is within 10 minutes of a green space. So there's a lot of green space to spend time in. So I spend a lot of my time outside.
I
Um,
love it.
so
Love
yeah,
it.
so I would say that that's my biggest hobby is just spending time outside. It really grounds me. So I really like that. And I used to be a big writer. I went to journalism school, and so I'm trying to really get back into writing and maybe potentially poetry. We'll see. We'll see. So
Nice.
that's to be determined.
Very nice. I'll have to read some of your writing whenever you post it. Uh,
Yes.
so, in honor of Women's History Month, if you had the chance to dine with an influential Latina, who would it be and why? Alive or dead, doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna cheat here, and I'm gonna say two people.
Okay,
um,
I'll allow it.
Thank you. So first, Celia Cruz, because Celia's life was so beautiful and grand, and just like the way that she always just told folks to focus on happiness and focus on good times and sang about it, and was just like such a vibrant human being. Like
Hmm.
I just want to spend some time with her and be in the same energy with her and also just ask her. I mean, she went through a lot. If you learn about her life story, she really survived a lot and went through a lot of pain. So how do you find joy even through all that pain and be able to continue on and be able to spread your joy to millions of people? So I would say that is one person. And then the other person I would say is Dolores Huerta, because, her advocacy is, her advocacy is so, has just been, for decades. She's just been such a strong community advocate. And I feel like I want to learn from her. And I want to also ask her, longevity wise, how did you manage to continue the march forward, sigue la lucha sigue. How do you continue to do that, especially when it feels like there's always a new thing that you need to push forward on? So those are the two folks that I would definitely have a conversation with if I could.
We'll have a dinner party. You hit my Cuban heart right there when you mentioned Celia Cruz.
Yes.
She would be the one that I would have dinner with also. So how can people find you and connect with you aside from, here on LinkedIn?
Yes. Well, I'm pretty active on my Instagram as well. So it's at because there's the one and only, at the Daisy Prado. So my first and last name. Again, it's just THE Daisy Prado. And so that's where I'm really active. I really share a lot about what's happening in the reproductive justice world, different bills that you should be aware of, and like how you can, contribute to different mutual aid and advocacy efforts here in San Francisco, but also just like in the nation at large. And also I just like, share a lot of what's going on in my life as well, and hope that I find others to connect with, and other community members to connect with on there as well. So
yes, I love your Instagram. I'm an avid follower.
Yay!
Daisy, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your incredible insights and journey and advice for people who want to start, giving back to their community. It's really inspiring to hear what you do day in and day out. And I really appreciate your time and contributions, because history is made by women like you every day. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for creating this space for all of us to be on here. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay, so before we wrap things up here, I want to take this opportunity to introduce our next guest coming up tomorrow, the one and only Erika Rodriguez. She is a trailblazing female entrepreneur, and she will be talking to us about what the positive impact that she is creating on the planet through her sustainable business practices with eco-conscious marketing. So if you're interested in knowing what eco-conscious marketing is and how you can have your business or your employer try to give back and make an impact on the planet, tune in tomorrow. And before you wait, check out our Discord channel. Lots of conversations happening going there. The link is in the event description. Thank you, Daisy. Have a good one. See you all soon.
Happy Monday. Bye.